Welcome to Board Games of Oregon, where bringing families together for roll-up board game fun is our mission. This video shows just a few of the board games in our inventory. Our games are for all ages and offer a wide variety of roll-up board game choices. This video shows 3 of our games: Stacks, Bobby the Wonder Dog, a true story, by the way, of Bobby's amazing 2,500-mile journey to find his owners, and it also includes the story of Bobby's journey. And finally, Poker the board game. Stacks is a board game for 2 to 4 players. The game consists of 4 sets of playing chips: red, yellow, blue, and green. Each chip has a slot on top where a silver or gold plastic coin is inserted. Silver coins are worth 1 point and gold are worth 10. The objective is to capture as many of your opponent's chips and coins and taking them off the playing board without getting captured yourself. You will roll 2 dice. Each die represents 1 move, so you'll be moving 2 chips each time it is your turn. Chips' first moves onto the playing board must be straight. All other moves may go in any direction you want as long as it's a straight line and ends on the playing board. If the final space you move to is occupied by an opponent's chip or stack of chips, you capture them. The only chips and coins you can keep are the ones you have removed from the playing board by landing on the opposite side of the playing board from where you started. A game ends when one player removes their last chip off the board legally. The $sign in the Stacks logo is a directory hint as to another way to play the game. Another game we have developed with the Stacks board and chips is one we call Checkers, a different way of playing the game of checkers with 3 to 4 players. It's in development and will be available shortly. Poker the board game is a unique way of playing a very old card game. It is a 5x5 roll-up game board. The center square has a game logo and is a starting point for each game. Each player is dealt 10 cards. These are the only cards they will be playing. The remaining card on top of the deck after dealing is turned over and placed face up in the center logo square. The first player can either match by rank, use a card of the same suit, or start a flush with a card in sequence to the played card in the middle of the board. When it is the next player's turn to play his card, he also can play to match by rank, match by suit to start a flush, or play a card in a sequence that can be used to start a straight. If a player cannot place a card on the playing board, they are done with that game, and the other players continue to play until there is an obvious winner or the board game is completely covered. The player with the best hand wins. It goes very fast and is a lot of fun.
Bobby, the Scots collie, loved Mr. Brazier, who owned the Real Cafe in Silverton, Oregon, back in 1923. That summer, Mr. and Mrs. Brazier drove back to Indiana for a visit in their new Redbird convertible, with Bobby sitting on a trunk, enjoying the view and occasionally jumping off the car to chase rabbits. The 15-mile-an-hour trip took many days, and when they arrived in Wolcott, Indiana, that August, and pulled into a service station, a gang of dogs confronted Bobby, who jumped off the safety of the car and went into a defense attack mode. A fight ensued, and the gang ran around to the alley and out of sight, Bobby at their heels. The Braziers had lost Bobby in that instant and spent days searching the town of Wolcott, but to no avail. Bobby was nowhere to be found. Broken-hearted, they said goodbye to their relatives and drove back to Oregon, wondering how they would break the news to their 2 daughters who were running the Real Cafe in their absence. So begins the incredible story of Bobby's 2,500-mile journey back to Oregon. The board game we call Bobby's Amazing Journey duplicates Bobby's actual trip from Indiana to Oregon in the fall and winter of 1923 and 1924. The game is played with the players picking a Bobby game piece and place them on the start space. A roll of 1 dice will give the player their movement toward Oregon. If they land on a red circle, they pick a red card and follow the instructions. If they land on a green circle, they pick a green card and follow those instructions. The first player to arrive at Silverton, Oregon, wins. The third edition of the board game we call Bobby's Amazing Journey will be out in April 2014.